Very good. We don't need luck. We need organization. We need hoplites. We need foot soldiers. And I am certain that the next governor is probably around here. I've seen a lot of good people here. And there are a few that can very well do a lot better than Deval Patrick has been doing for the past 2 years. There's some medicine that Massachusetts needs, and it may be around this room. I want to bring back Barry, who is going to surprise everyone here today, so he tells me. Because, quite frankly, he's going to introduce a surprise guest who is going to address us today. And quite frankly, I don't even know who that person is. So, Barry Greenspan, back again, please.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It did not appear on the program, but we do have a very special guest. Special guest? I went to a school that was named after this man.
Good morning. Thank you. Well, it's warming to my heart to be with all these Republicans in Massachusetts. It's unprecedented time, isn't it, really? You think about it? We've just elected a president. I know he's not Republican. But we have to root for him, don't we? I mean, it's our country. So we have to root for him. He's our president. It's unprecedented times, really. I mean, when I took over as president, we had states seceding from the Union. We had a terrible financial problem. And today, Barack has a similar challenge. We're in a terrible economic situation. We have 2 ugly wars that are going on. So he certainly has his work cut out for him. I wanted to sort of talk to you today a little bit about the Gettysburg Address. It was a pretty solemn occasion. It goes back to November 19th, 1863. And we just had an unprecedented battle at Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. At that battle, we lost 33,000 men. 33,000 men. That's the size of a small town in Massachusetts. It's almost unbelievable in that time. And it was taking a terrible toll on Abe Lincoln, the president. He was taking it very personally. It was affecting his health and so on. He was invited to make some remarks at the dedication of the cemetery for these fallen men. And Edward Everett gave a speech that lasted 1 hour and 57 minutes. And Abe gave a speech that lasted 2 minutes and contains 10 sentences. And I thought it might be appropriate for me to go through that with you this morning. I think it ties a few threads together with where we've been as a country and where we are today. 74 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who gave their lives and that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. Thank you.
Mr. President. Excellent job. Ladies and gentlemen, Abraham Lincoln. I think it was Eric that mentioned a little while ago that former Representative Watts said that Democrats give you a handout, but the Republicans give you a job. That has always been the case with matters that really count, hasn't it? In biblical times, there was a man that once said, "It's better to teach men how to fish than give them a fish to eat." Isn't that true? And what was said then was true then, whatever your religious background may be, and it remains now. The same idea. It is better to have a job than to have a handout, because the handout goes away. The job may be permanent.